easy to succeed. Have faith of a mustard seed. Get up on your feet. Rise up.
Welcome to another episode of the Turks SEMA show. I know I've been absent for a couple of weeks, and that's due to medical absence. I had a medical procedure, and so I was away. And I'm happy to be back on my regular show. And today, my episode is with one of the independent candidates. Of course, you know that the elections are on February 7th. And my guest is Mr. Phillip Robinson, who is from Five Cays, Providenciales. And he is running at large as an independent candidate. And so we'll have a conversation with him today and to share his platform and for you, the viewers, to know more about him and why you think you should vote for him. So with that said, I want to welcome Mr. Phillip Robinson to the Turks SEMA show.
Thank you for having me, Drax.
All right. Well, Mr. Robinson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Phillip Robinson. Born and raised in Five Cays to a strong, incredible woman, Miss Hilda Robinson, who groomed me into the man that I am now. A God-fearing woman, a woman that served with an open heart, open hand, open house, and then brought me up in the fear of God. And today I'm a deacon in my church. I am very active in my community, active in my country at large. I am a builder by trade. I was molded by some of the great builders of Turks and Caicos, persons like the now deceased James Dean, Richter Forbes from North Caicos, Tweeland Swan, now deceased Joshua Swan, and I can't forget the man that gave me my headway in the construction industry, Clifford Hamilton and Hudson Gardner. So, in a nutshell, that's where I'm coming from.
Right. Which church you attend? You say you're a deacon in your church.
I'm a deacon in the Baptist Union, and I attend the Paradise Baptist Church.
Oh, which is also at Five Cays.
Five Cays, yeah.
Right.
So my spiritual walk was molded by the men and women in the Baptist Union. Outside of that, too, the Methodists in particular, like Reverend Tucson and those persons,
right.
They played a very pivotal role. The pastors from the 70s. I affiliate myself with practically everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Open to what they have to say and share,
and
then I know how to build myself from there.
Right. And how long you have your own business? What's the name of your business?
I have my solo business, which is Inter-Island Builders, and I have a partnership with another company which is called Coastal Marine.
Okay. What does Coastal Marine? What is that about?
Coastal Marine, we do coastal works, dredging.
Oh, okay.
Shoreline protection, docks, and that type of stuff.
And the inter-island, that's construction.
That's mainly land-based construction, housing, and stuff like that.
All right. So how long you've had these businesses?
Inter-Island Builders. My oldest daughter is 25 now. Yeah, 25 years.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
I left out of what was called Royal Bay after they sold to Sandals. I left them in the 90s.
Oh, you used to work there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started out there in the maintenance department.
Okay. But the reason I ask about these businesses is because I believe that one of the breakthroughs or one of the things you need to do to turn around the economy, or for more of us to feel part of the economy, not to turn it around, the economy's already turned around, is for more of us to become entrepreneurs. I think more local people need to become entrepreneurs rather than just an employee. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, definitely. The environment has to be created where Turks and Caicos Islanders feel empowered to become entrepreneurs, not just employees. When we listen to the political parties, they talk a lot about job creation.
I know.
And I don't believe no parent send their children to university or even secondary school with that mindset. And most likely, the Turks Islanders who have achieved some sort of tertiary learning. I mean, the market is here, the environment is here. So I don't see why we're only pushing Turks and Caicos Islanders to become job holders.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with you. I agree. Of course, they can work for a couple of years to get the experience.
Yeah, you have to build your base.
I don't think, that should be like the priority.
Yeah.
I think we should focus on creating, entrepreneurship. Okay, so now you've decided to run as an independent candidate. Why did you decide to go into politics, and why did you decide to run as an independent candidate?
Okay, two things. I believe I have something to offer to my country, which is myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe because of what was invested in me by persons of this country, men and women of this country, I believe I owe it to the country. And it's time sensitive, okay? What doesn't happen now will have a lasting effect going forward.
Yes, agreed.
And yes, I did offer myself to one of the political parties to run on their ticket. And in that interview, reading the faces of the interviewers, I basically saw that our views were clashing. Okay? And so I prepared myself mentally from then that, if you're going to make your contribution, you're going to have to stand alone.
Okay.
It was not an easy task because talking to persons, especially some of my mentors, they were like, that doesn't work here.
Maybe run independent?
Yeah, independent doesn't work in Turks and Caicos.
It does work.
But I started my business on my own.
Yeah.
And today I'm successful with my business. Still growing, but successful. So I know that if you were willing to step out, like my flyer says, if you're willing to plant that seed, nurture it, it will grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And then people shouldn't be telling you it doesn't work, because in 1976, when we first started the ministerial system of government, we had Liam McGuire ran as an independent candidate in South Caicos.
Yeah.
He won. We had Mr. Dan Williams in North Caicos ran independently, and he won.
He won.
And then we had Honorable Norman Saunders came back, returned to the islands and ran, and he ran as an independent candidate, and he won. Now we haven't had anyone won as an independent candidate yet as an at-large, since the at-large system has been introduced, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't happen, So I think it's a bold move you made, and I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
So if you were to win this election, what are some of the things that you want to achieve in the House of Assembly? For the people of Turks and Caicos Islands, what's some of your objectives?
Okay, my objectives. One is what we just spoke about: entrepreneurship for Turks and Caicos Islands.
Okay.
Preserving some things for Turks and Caicos Islanders, and let me start with the construction industry.
Right.
From the days of Tom Lyburn and Max Stubbs and those gentlemen, they were trying to get a construction association started. And it was not just the local men in it. It was also guys like Benny Van Kemp and those persons who would have moved to the islands, but loved the islands enough that wanted to see something protected. And from then, 1991, 1990, somewhere around there, we have had elected government after elected government. And none of them has put anything concrete in place to foster this. To preserve it. Okay? The Contractors Association never took no real traction. It could because there's no legislation. Mike did something small towards it while he was premier, but that's it. And so we have to do something that will protect Turks and Caicos Islanders in this industry.
So you want to pass legislation, for the association?
For the association to be a recognized organization.
Oh, okay.
Probably attached to the Physical Planning Board or the Ministry of Works or something. So it becomes mandatory.
Okay.
If you are a contractor in Turks and Caicos, you must be a part of the association, and
I got you.
and you must comply by those
got you.
rules and guidelines.
And so you'll have that. I got you. That I see.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand that.
And
That
then-
makes sense.
And then when we come to the tourist industry,
Hmm.
okay, I believe every Turks and Caicos Islander knows the water. That's where we grow up. If you grow up between Grand Turk, South Caicos, Salt Key, and Provo,
Except for me,
you had the Salinas. You started off in the water from the Salinas.
I know. But
So you know the waters.
yeah,
And-
we should know the
And
words.
so we should have that priority. We should be given that
The water sports.
the water sports. We should be given that exclusiveness
Okay.
in water sports.
Okay.
Yes, persons we need financing. We can't run from that. But when an investor looks at any market to invest in, he sees where he can make his return before he invests.
Of course.
And so the environment should be set whereby, okay, you want to invest in our water sports industry? Don't just do it through a Turks Islander. Do it with a Turks Islander. So that means the Turks Islander is abreast and going to every
He's
phase.
actively
He's
involved.
actively involved.
He or
with it.
she is
He or
actively
she
involved.
is actively involved with it.
Right.
It is he
So
or
no-
she
no front.
business. No fronting.
Okay. So how will you enforce that? I mean, make it pass legislation. How will you enforce it to
You
make
pass
sure?
legislation. You empower Turks and Caicos Islanders. You make Turks and Caicos Islanders accountable for themselves. You empower them with that passion to have national pride.
Mhm.
Once a person is empowered and they get that national pride and that unity begin to move, we wouldn't want to hurt each other.
Mhm.
Okay, we would want to see each other business strive, and once that is done, because right now, with my company, Coastal,
Mhm.
if I call up a boat captain and say, "Hey, I need a captain for the day to run my boat. We got some surveying or something to do," I would get, "Okay, Phil, I can't do that today. I have a charter, but let me call so
Another-
and so for
Mhm.
you." Okay, and it's normally a group of 4 or 5 Turks and Caicos Islanders boat captains that I network with.
Right. Networking is very important.
Okay,
Mhm.
and so that is important.
Mhm.
Okay, we shouldn't have the bigger companies from overseas
Mhm.
which have the financing
Mhm.
coming in
Competing.
and overpowering. There's no competition
Mhm.
because the local guys don't have the capital. So when the outside companies come in, they're overpowering.
So your past legislation is just reserved for Turks.
Reserved for Turks and Caicos Islanders, totally protected.
Right.
Turks and Caicos Islanders can feel empowered
Right.
to take their savings or their land and whatever,
Or join up.
or
with
join
others.
up or network. They will
Turks and
feel
Caicos.
comfortable doing that, knowing that the business will be
Right.
a successful one.
Right. Right. Any other objectives you have?
Okay, yeah. I always hear the government's talking about crime fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You can only fight what you can see. Okay? And with crime, what you see is the remnants of it. So with the gun violence that we now have, what we see is a body, a loved one
Mm-hmm.
moved from among us. You can't fight that. But what you can do, those that are already, the crimes that are already being committed, we can put as much resources as we can behind solving those cases. So by solving them, we would give people a sense of
Some hope.
some hope. But
Some
then
closure.
some closure. But then our main focus has to be prevention.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have to focus on how we prevent crime.
So what do you think we need to do to prevent?
Okay. Prior to the suspension of our constitution,
Uh-huh.
across the island of Providenciales, we had police stations in all our districts,
Mm-hmm.
or the majority of them. That need to be reestablished. Okay? The police department needs to become an integral part of our society.
Communities.
Right. Right now I see it as The police is over here and society is over there. So no one feels comfortable talking to the police. So we need to have programs in place from the schools to everywhere else.
I think it's a lack of trust too, though. That's why nobody feels comfortable.
Yeah, because we're separated. I can't trust you if I don't know you. Okay? So we have to incorporate that. Put the measures in place to prevent crime. So proper surveillance, more police presence. And when I say more police presence, it doesn't necessarily mean
more visibility.
1,000 more men.
Yeah.
But police patrols.
Yeah. They need to be more visible.
Yeah.
But I hear everything you're saying, right? But and I see that the crime is becoming a political issue now in the campaign. And honestly, I know the police role in to catch these criminals, but the police does not make criminals, right? There's some people out there with their minds messed up, and they're out there just killing people, and then how are we going to deal with that part of the situation? Because people out there they're not normal to committing these acts, and we really can't blame the police for that. A lot of times we blame the police for that. The police doesn't control those minds of individuals. Now we have to blame the police for not catching them, but people like the incident that took place recently, they say the guy just came out walking around and just started shooting. He can't be in his normal state. How do we get to the root cause? How do we get to that part of what do you think we need to do?
Okay. I believe society should be standing on 4 pillars. Turks and Caicos, in my view, stands on 3. We have religion. We have it down pat. Finance, the economy is good. Politics, we play with that. We all of us are political mind, all of us. But social.
Okay, that's the 4th pillar.
That's the 4th pillar.
That's the one we lack.
That's the one we lack.
Okay.
Our social element is not growing with us.
Okay.
You may see a few guys sitting by a hangout spot, having conversations. You may see a church group or something doing something outside of the 4 walls. But when you have a young man at the age of 12, 13, he finishes school at 2 o'clock. Between 2 and 7 minutes time for him to really settle in for the evening. It's dead.
You mean no activities?
No activities. And if there's activities, it's no structured activities. So yes, they can go to the basketball court and play ball. They can probably go to the soccer field and play soccer. But there is no mentor in those environments. And because of the way things are for Turks and Caicos Islanders who want to appear or to be successful, we have neglected the family element in a quest for financial stability.
So we're spending all our time
trying to
make money at the expense of
family time.
I see. That's a good point.
So we have to begin to, and you can't blame a government for this.
No.
But again, if the okay, for example, myself, a business person, I can take some time out and spend with my children, with my grandchildren, with my grandson.
You have grandchildren?
Yeah, I have a grandson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes. I met your grandson.
Yeah. So those are the things that we can do. And if a employer is making a satisfactory salary, they can do that. Most single moms on this island works 2 jobs. Most of them.
So that means they don't have a lot of time.
They don't have no time.
So that's the part you say we lack.
We lack that social element.
Okay.
We lacking that, and have to find some way to
social
undergird that.
the lack of social is creating part of the problem.
Yeah.
Got you.
Also
yeah.
looking at healthcare.
Oh yes, you're not
Yeah.
objective. Mhm.
Our healthcare system. We had the Michael Mizik administration probably had this great vision or a vision for our healthcare system. So we built 2 hospitals.
We did.
And things didn't go as planned, I guess. And so we ended up where we are now. But with the 2 governments that we had elected since those hospitals was built, we're still operating as though Merkley Rigby Clinic in Providenciales is still there.
Mm.
And the hospital is in Grand Turk. Because now the hospital is in Provo, and everybody from the other islands are being flown to Provo, stabilized, and then flown out.
Mm.
I think we need to invest in the infrastructure that we have.
Mm.
And there are ways that you can, because of our population size,
Mm-hmm.
we are not able to employ all of the necessary specialist skills. But there are networks out there now where we can have these persons coming into our system when we need it.
Right. Rather than sending people.
Rather than sending people out.
Yeah.
So we need to develop that type of mindset
Mm-hmm.
with our healthcare system. And
Yeah.
it will save us.
Yeah.
And it will also, it will even add to our tourism product.
Yeah. I agree with you, because I wrote my most recent article in the Turks and Caicos Sun. It was about the hospital. I think we need tertiary level, because right now what we have is secondary. You have different levels of hospital, and we have primary, secondary, but we don't have tertiary with a lot of specialists. And I believe that's what we need to look into, because we spend over $20 million a year sending people abroad. And so I do like your point. Now I want to ask you this question, because most of us from 1976, a lot of us is being programmed to either support the PNP or the PDM, right? A lot of us, even though independent people ran. What do you think we need to do to change the mindset of some of us? Because we only see people as blue or yellow. Tell us why we should move away from this 2-party system and support independence.
Because the mirroring effect is not working. If you're looking into a mirror and it does not reflect you, that's a mirror you should break. Okay? If we are programmed between 2 mirrors, a blue and a yellow, and we have gone from these 2 mirrors from 76 up to
now.
Up to last election. I wouldn't say now, because this election is coming.
Oh, okay.
And,
it's not finished.
and I'm expecting to win in this election.
That's 32, my
so
brother.
I wouldn't say this one.
Mm-hmm.
So from 96 to the last
76.
From 76 to the last election, we have bounced between these two mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
It is time to break those mirrors.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're looking in a mirror and the reflection is not benefiting you, when you get dressed and you look in the mirror and that outfit isn't proper, or for a lady that makeup is not right,
Then change it.
you change it.
Okay, I hear you.
You change it. So what I'm saying to Turks and Caicos Islanders, over the years, these 2 mirrors has not reflected us.
Okay.
Okay? So it is time to break those mirrors.
Okay.
And let's move forward.
Gotcha.
And breaking those mirrors, in this case, is to vote independent, vote Phillip Robinson, 1 voice, 1 vote, and we can make this work.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Thank you for that. I mean, I will say before that, I do believe that we're too divided in this country over the PNP and PDM. We're so divided. And I believe it can change. It'll probably be some time, but I believe it can change. And we really need to ask ourselves, why do we vote for the party we vote for? Why are we so obsessed? Why? Because my parents this way, that's why I vote this way. Why? You can't even tell some people why. Some people say, I ain't care who it is. You put dog, you put cat. If there's PNP, I vote for PNP. If it's PDM, I vote for PDM. And I think we do have to move away from that mindset and look at the individual as opposed to looking at the party. Yeah. Now, we're going to end right now, but I want you this is your final opportunity. I think we did a very good show with you, but I want you to add more points as to why on February 7th, the people should vote for Phillip Robinson.
Why people should vote for me, Phillip Robinson, in this election? I am a son of the soil. Our first election in this country was in 76. I was born in 74. So that means I grew into our political system. I've seen it all. I've seen both parties in and out of power. I've been around. I was young when our Constitution was suspended the first time. I was older and had more knowledge when it was suspended the second time. And if we are not prepared to move beyond this party system that divides us, this party system that has not benefited us over the years. Okay? Yes, a few persons has benefited here and there. But I'm talking about nation building. We would talk about other countries and how those people from those countries have so much national pride. Those people, whatever we say about them. And our leaders, our political leaders, has not, with the exception of a short period in Mike's term, we haven't empowered our people to take those roles. I'm offering myself as an agent of change. I'm offering myself as a person willing to work with and for the people. A lot of our politicians, they tell you one thing, and it's a party philosophy that they have to work under. I will be working with the people because I'm independent. So there's no party philosophy for me. So that's why I believe you should vote for the independent candidate, Phillip Robinson, in this election.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best on February 7th. You've been watching the Drexel Seymour show, and of course, my guest is Mr. Phillip Robinson, an independent candidate at large in this upcoming general elections. I hope by watching the show, you now, you probably already knew him, but you get to know more about him and what he stands for, what his objectives are, and what his plans are to make a difference should become successful on February 7th. Thank you again.